What's up everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video we're going to be doing another type of controller modification for the PS5, but we're going to be doing something real easy compared to what I showed you the last time. We're going to be adding some back buttons. We're going to be adding a melee button and we're going to be adding a jump button, but it should be infinitely more easy because we have a remap kit now. So I'm going to show you how to install that. I'm going to talk you through it, and I'm going to add a new type of back button as well that I want to use on the shoulders. So definitely stick around if you want to see that. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you is this easy remap that's just come out. I will link this in the description. Shout out to Controller Modding Central, I believe is the channel. I did purchase this, they didn't send it to me, but I do want to try this out. I've used his products in the past and they're really good. And this is a really easy way to modify your controller if you don't want to go in and find those solder points on your own and try to solder, because soldering is not for everybody. Now, I say that you do need to do a little bit of soldering here on this specific board, and I'm going to show it to you once we get closer. And let's see if I can get a little closer in, tighter in on this. There are some points here that will need to be soldered, and I will show those up close. But it's much easier than trying to do those little small points that we were working with before. So this just basically wraps around up front. You flip this over and you solder it and you're pretty much good to go. It's not a whole lot to it. You have your grounds, looks like, and it has everything labeled nice and neat here, which is awesome. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but I just want to show you up close. You can see the PS, the X, circle, square, triangle, and then you have your up, down, left, right, looks like. Make sure I'm seeing that correctly. Yeah, and then you have your common row of grounds, which is freaking awesome. And you just solder to those and you're ready to rock and roll. Not a lot going on. This part attaches to the back and we can get this done. I also picked up another set of face buttons that I want to show you in this one, which are black with the blue accent. Same company. Again, I will link these in the description if you want to purchase them. We've got some double-sided tape. We've got my handy dandy Craftsman screwdriver that I love. We've got an X-Acto knife of sorts, and we've got some different types of buttons that we're going to be using. I've not used these before, but I'm using these because let me see who they come from. They're from a company called Extreme Rate, and they make a lot of remapping stuff for the PS4. So I'm stealing these from a PS4 kit that I purchased online because I really like this design, because I like the shoulder button design also that they give you with this kit. And these just attach to these, and I think they will fit very well on the PS5. But we're just gonna have to wait and see until I'm ready once I drill it out. We've got a brand new PlayStation 5 controller here. This one's crispy. I just cut the top, so we're gonna go and open it up. Nothing in the box but the paperwork. And here we go. Brand spanking new and beautiful. So this is an important thing I get a lot of questions about, so I want to cover it now. People ask me about grip. I like to grip my controller roughly like this. I like my thumbs to kind of meet in the middle, and these fingers to just come around. This is comfortable for me. On the back, I don't know how well you can see it, my bird finger's kind of long, so I really want my buttons to be somewhere, and let's look at it this way. I want my buttons to be somewhere in here. So if we're somewhere within this range, I think I'll be really happy, just because I can easily reach it and I'll feel comfortable. And I don't want them to go too deep, because then I got to grab the controller. I like to hold it a little looser. So just looking at it from the bottom, I'm just trying to see where I want to make these holes. Also, on a button like this, one of the things that you need to make sure is that you've got 4 prongs. You got 2 that are already soldered. I'm gonna cut these other 2 off because you don't need them. So I've got just some cutters here. All right, let's go ahead and get this controller apart so that I can get this situated, because this is pretty straightforward stuff. I've shown it to you a bunch now, but basically all you want to do is just pop this front end, this black piece off at the bottom. Just be careful on a brand new controller because it might be a little tighter. Pop it up and it should pop right off like so. So we've got some screws here and we got one on the other side. We got two back here behind L1 and R1. Got our little spudger tool here, and you can use other stuff to get this off also. Got those out. I'm going to move over to my screwdriver here, and we just want to make sure that we get this. Now this screwdriver that I have is magnetic. You don't have to have a magnetic screwdriver, because somebody asked me that too, but it's nice if you do, because you can pick those screws up like so. Keep an eye on where your screws are going. What I do like about this new style of PlayStation controller, now before I talk about it, let me tell you about this bottom. So you got two clips here, and then you got clips on the sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to open it like I did there, then I'm going to pop these clips. So I pop one, then I'm going to pop two, and I'm going to open it the rest of the way. And I'm going to go get this side as well, and then I'll do, what'd you say, baby? Hey, how are you?
I'm sorry.
Are you okay? And then I'm gonna take this one out, and boom, there's your back. Now we need to do two things. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this, because that's the pain in the butt. This part's easy. So I'm gonna slide out to the side, and the goal is to go ahead and drill this out so I can put these buttons in. And I just gotta match up a drill bit that makes enough sense for this setup. All right guys, so real quick, where I wanna place my buttons, there is a little ridge right here. I'm just going to see if that's going to be a problem. If it is, I'm just going to take it off. That doesn't really do anything. But right now I'm just trying to match up my buttons to make sure that everything fits through the holes the way that I want it to fit through the holes. And so far it's looking good, but it feels like I'm going to have to niche this off. It's sitting through, but it's not sitting flush. I don't know. Let me see if I can show y'all. There we go. So I need to get rid of that so I can get this guy to lay down. Alright guys, just wanted to show you the mounting, and I offset these buttons slightly just because I went back and I remarked my grip, so this was a little bit more comfortable for me. So your mileage may vary, but I went back and I made another little dot so that I could offset these ever so slightly. And if you look, they're not directly across from each other, but they're close enough for what I want to do, and I like the way that that grip sits, the way I hold the controller. Alright guys, just want to show you the back with the buttons on, and I went with angled buttons, and I really like the way that these look. They have a really tactile feel, and if you notice, I strategically on my end angled them outward, so I don't know how well you can see that, but I angled them toward where the pressure is going to be. So when I'm clicking it, that's where the pressure is going to be. So I really like that angle position. So I'm real happy with how that turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, do its thing, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to something else. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and get in here and focus in on putting this board into the controller so we can get this thing soldered up. There shouldn't be a whole lot to this, you guys, and let me zoom back in just so you can see. I'm going to go ahead, because this is a brand new controller, I'm going to remove the battery, and I'm just going to go through this. So I don't have to take everything out. I do need to remove this one screw that's sitting right here in the center. So I'm going to remove this screw, get that guy off of there, go ahead and pop this guy out. There are a couple of small points here on this board with plug-in where you have these very small connectors, and I just took that speaker all the way off. That's the speaker that goes back here. Then there's a connector to one in the front, and then there's another ribbon cable right here, and I'm just putting my finger on it to hold it. There's another ribbon cable on this side, put my finger on it to hold the board, and that should be enough to get this board to pop out. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more ribbon cable up top. And this controller looks a little different than the other controller on the inside that I'm working on. Am I going crazy? Maybe I am. I thought that ribbon cable connection looks a little different. Yeah, they've already started making iterative changes. So check this out. This is my other controller that I'm working on. Let me back up so you can see it. Notice, and I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a blue attachment on this ribbon cable. Blue attachment to the main ribbon cable that supports the touchpad. Notice on this one there isn't. So they've already started to make some changes on these boards. Man, PlayStation do not be playing. All right, let's go ahead and get in here and change out these thumbsticks. And all I'm gonna do right now, because I don't want to spend time going over all of these just yet, is I'm just gonna put the caps on. So we'll put this guy on, and all you do is line them up. And once you get it lined up right, just push it down and it'll go right in to its spot. I like that blue, that looks pretty good. And this guy here, and put it on, make sure these are on pretty good. And we're done there. We want to grab this easy remap board. Alright, so I got my double-sided tape on there, and I'm gonna line this guy up, and as soon as I get it lined up, I'm just gonna press down to get it in place. Now let me look. I didn't press hard yet, but I can pick it up. I'm gonna make sure I line this up dead on the money. Boom. Give myself a little wiggle room. I think that looks pretty good. We're gonna see once we put it together. These two holes right here and here went in like they're supposed to. I'm gonna go ahead and reconnect everything. So I added a piece of tape here. I'm just gonna tape it down to there. And as you can see, again, you can see the points that you got to work with. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm gonna go ahead and solder into those, and then we should be good to go. With these boards, you don't want to leave your iron on too long. Just be careful with that. So we got circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and run 2 grounds, and we should be good to go. All right, guys, I just want to show you real quick that we do have our points soldered. We've got X and circle, and then we got 2 grounds run. The only other thing left to do at this point is first I got to go back in there and put the speaker back. I'm not going to show you that because it's magnetic. That's why it keeps doing that. It jumps all around. And then once I put that back in, I'm going to put the battery and stuff back on. Then I'll show you once we get to the last point of wiring these buttons onto the back and trying to test fit it. So we got it all soldered in. Everything is connected, both buttons. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this battery tray back in so that we can put the other stuff together, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it's starting to look like a controller again, slowly but surely. And it doesn't really take a long time. It's just, you know, a little tedious to get this all to go. So as you can see, we got it back together for the most part. The tech switches, everything fit in. Got our clicky. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this guy up and go from there. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get started, and then I'll see what it looks like. We'll see if it works. That's next. This is what we've got so far, and I just want to show you this is the same controller. The back buttons are still there, and I'm just gonna go ahead and press this button to start the game, and boom, we're in. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit it again to enter a multiplayer setup. This should be my circle button, which is asking me for circle right here. So if everything works, I'm gonna hit it. Let's see what happens. Boom. We're gonna go over to I'm sorry. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go down. I'm gonna hit X again on the back. I'm gonna go to hardcore. I'm gonna hit X again. I'm just gonna join a random game just so we can see what's up. But yeah, that easy remap was no sweat. I do have another one coming in the mail at some point, and I'm going to do another style of controller. This is the style I wanted to try first though, because I really like the way this looked, and I think it fits really well. So I'm going to run with this one first, and if everything works, we should be good to go. I'm just going to use X on the front to make sure it works. Everything is working. I'm jumping from the back. Knifing, jumping, aiming up pretty good. See if I can get one kill for y'all on camera. Somebody stunned me to hell. Somebody ran by. Let's see what happens. Oh, Jesus. Kill or be killed. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And again, the goal here, oh, and these are new buttons too, by the way. They're quite sticky. I like the really tall analog, it's pretty dope. I probably just stuck a teammate, but you only get live once, maybe not. Oh, there's a guy clipping behind the rock over there. So yeah, pretty happy with this right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I love this offset placement. And one of the things I did was I slightly staggered these because of the way that I hold the controller. And I'm gonna zoom in so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Slightly staggered these so they're not identical. You can't really tell from looking at it, but they're not identical. They're a little off from one another, and that is by design. That's not a mistake. And so I'm just going over here to look and see. I'm aiming up. I really like how this feels. Alright guys, so you just saw a little bit of gameplay with the controller, or at least you saw that the controller was working. I don't know about gameplay, but yeah, everything's working really well. I really like the fit and finish of it. These bigger buttons, and I will let you guys know, it is kind of tricky to get these bigger tack buttons into the new controller. It's just not like it was in PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4. The controller game has really changed. The inside of these are very tight. There's not a lot of space to work with, so you really have to be careful. I'm gonna do one more build, I think, up front with one of these, and I'm gonna do some wraparound paddles that are probably gonna start here and come to here. They're gonna wrap around, and you can still hit the same click, but as you can see, look where my fingers naturally fall. Very clicky, and my finger just falls right in there, just kind of perfect. And so when I'm gaming and I've got everything going, I can just easily tap this and still get where I need to go. And you know, it came out really clean on the back as well. Thank you so much. You guys have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.